Okay, so in this video I'm just going to talk a little bit about standing practices, why you want to do them, and then at the end we'll actually do a follow along where you can follow me for 10 minutes while I stand and just give a few cues during the practice. Standing is a really simple and interesting practice because it points out very quickly where you're holding tension in the body. Actually, if you can stand well, then there's no reason why you can't stand for many hours on the spot without moving. It's just the thing that stops us are little tensions that we hold throughout the body, and also mental tensions because the mind has tension about boredom and not doing things and so on. So it's a really interesting practice to reveal all of these things that you think you might be good at, but maybe not. What it'll do by doing it for a long time is it'll calm everything down. You know, as you stand longer and longer, you'll pass certain thresholds where little tissues that you didn't even know were there will come into awareness and then relax, which is really nice. The longer you do it in terms of months and years, the more this integrates so that it'll just be a thing that happens even without you thinking about it. So when you're standing around, you're just more upright. Essentially what we're doing is we have a vertical force of gravity that's always being applied to us, and the more we're not kind of standing in between these lines, the more we're leant over, the more we have to use strength and tension to hold ourselves up and not let ourselves fall to the ground. So you can think of this as standing in between the force of gravity so it's not working on you. The problem is we can't just stand bolt upright because that uses too much tension. So we have a little way of setting up that puts us in the most ideal position for this kind of standing. First, we're going to start at the feet. The feet are going to be straight underneath the shoulders, so shoulder width apart. The toes are going to be pointing forward, and we want the weight on the center of the feet. So this means if we lean forward, we go onto the toes. If we lean back, we go onto the heels. We just come halfway in between those two. The next is to have the knees between straight and bent. So if we bend too much, we feel a bunch of tension in the knees. And if we straighten too much, we feel a bunch of tension in the quads. So then we have to relax both, come in between straight and bent. Moving up to the hips, we want to just completely let go of the hips as if we were, our muscles are holding the hips in a certain place like this, as if we were to just let it go. In particular, focus on the buttocks, the glute muscles, and the lower abdomen. Moving up, we just want the spine to be straight, and we want all around the torso there to be no feeling of grabbing. So, if the side's grabbing here, it'll twist us here, same with forward. The really common one is to have the back grabbing, which kind of, if you look from the side, you see the back grab like this, and it opens the front here. So we want to relax the back so it's long. It's as if there were a space between each vertebra. The shoulders are straight out to the side, so we're neither forward, where you close the front here, nor too far back, where the shoulder blades pinch together. Space and openness between the shoulder blades, space and openness between the chest and shoulders. The same thing with the neck. Again, from the side, if we have tension here, it's closed in the back, open in the front. If we go a bit military, it's closed in the front, open in the back. We want that position that's kind of neither. Both are feeling relaxed and open, front and back. The old school cue for this is to gently tuck the chin and lift the head and have the eyes be parallel, looking at the horizon. Our arms are just going to hang by the side, and if the shoulders are really to the side and not forward or backwards, you shouldn't have this thing where the arms are forward or backwards. They should hang by the side of the legs. So we do all the wriggling about that we're going to do, find all these little points. If you need to play the video again, play it again a few times. And then we're going to start. I'll put a little timer on here for 10 minutes. And we settle. Begin our practice. So the first thing we want to be doing is just checking all our points, scanning through. Is the weight on the center of the feet? Is the weight evenly distributed between left and right? Are the knees soft? Are you relaxing the hips as much as you can? The more you relax the hips, the more the sacrum will point directly at the ground. You might see already that little tensions are starting to soften. Alternatively, you might find that already there's some feeling of tension that can't soften just yet. It might be starting to be making itself known by burning a little bit. Just keep your attention there. Feel why it's burning, what it is. The intense sensations are kind of calling for your attention, so just give it to them. We can soften the breathing in and out through the nose. And if at any point something feels like relaxing even more than it is, just let it. We want to relax as much as possible as long as we don't collapse our structure. So as long as we're staying upright, we relax as much as we can. At some point, we're constantly scanning over all these points I mentioned: weight on the middle of the feet, knees soft, hips hanging, no tension in the back or front, shoulders by the side, necks open and free, chins gently tucked, heads lifted, arms just relaxed and hanging by the side. And you can go over and over these cues, but at some point it's also good to just drop all of the technical adjustments and just stand. It's as if you kind of relinquish the control over to the body, and you might find that the body starts to unwind and twist. And there's something to be said for just letting it do its thing. If it twists a little bit out of alignment, but you just wait a little longer, you might find something else relaxes and it twists back. It's very common for the pressure to start building in the feet, in certain corners of the feet. Some people in the beginning have their feet kind of go a little tingly, like they're falling asleep. This is normal, and this will resolve as you lose any of the excessive tension, and also when you're more precisely on the center of the foot. Very normal for there to be shuddering of certain points, or maybe the entire leg or parts of the body to kind of vibrate. Just let them go, let them do this. Don't try and stop it from vibrating. And it's useful from time to time, like once every month or two, to film yourself doing this, because you'll be surprised how it looks compared to how it feels. And especially the face, working with how relaxed the face is. You'll often find the more you relax, the more the face kind of droops into a scowl. And so we want to encourage going more towards a smile, but it doesn't have to be a over-the-top smile, more like the foundation of a smile. What's the very start of it, where the face relaxes, and the eyes soften and so on. If you're new to this, you might find there are some areas that are getting reasonably intense pressure feelings. If you've been practicing a long time, you might find that tension's really starting to fall away. You're passing some thresholds and getting more and more relaxed. But it's necessary at some point to kind of face the pressure and not break out of the stance and not shake it out. Just give whatever's becoming intense your complete undivided attention. And it's more of a curious attention rather than a asking it to be solved tension. Kind of like, why is it intense? What is this sensation trying to tell me? Not attention in the way of, please go away. When certain pieces of tension fall away, it can also feel like the breath becomes restricted. This is normal, and it's often a true reflection of where the breathing apparatus are at. A lot of the habitual ways we breathe are avoidance of these tensions. And so as we stand here for long enough and relax, it'll actually stop avoiding the tensions, which means again that we have to face them, see what they are, see that they're there, and that actually gives us an opportunity for resolution. But before we can resolve it, we have to face it, we have to see it fully. And so we have these practices where we've got to stand for some time to slowly reveal them. So that's the end of 10 minutes. To finish, we're just going to bring our hands around, one on top of the other to the belly, just let our attention drop to the belly underneath the hands for a couple of breaths. And we'll slowly open our eyes. And then we can very slowly kind of return to a more normalized state. And it's nice now to walk around and just feel how it's different, how walking is different, even how standing a little bit more normally is different. Just feel how it's changed after this practice. Of course, you need ongoing practice to really set this in the body. It takes months and years rather than just a few days, so you need to continue it day by day. But if you just do 10 minutes, it will have a very interesting effect.